everyone, welcome. My name is Abby and I will be guiding you through this beginner's practice. So chances are if you've come to this video you are quite new to yoga, or maybe this is even your first ever practice, and there is so much to talk about, but I'm going to try and keep it short as we begin, and I'm going to make this into a little bit of a series going into the full 8 limbs of yoga. So the one that you are probably most familiar with or that you have heard about is our asana practice, the physical postures. And although that is a huge part of yoga, it is great for our flexibility, for our mobility, for our strength, and so many benefits. There is also a lot more to this practice that we will go into as we go along through these classes. So to begin today, if you have any props, a block is really useful in your practice. If you don't have a block, you could use a thick book, but I would definitely recommend, if you find that you come to this class and you love practicing yoga, throughout our whole practice, beginner through to however long we do, hopefully a very long time, end up practicing for, a block is always going to be really useful. So if you've got one of those, grab it now. You may want to bring in cushions, a bolster, but yes, we will get started, and we're going to begin today seated in Sukhasana. So when you're ready, come into your mat and I will meet you there. Okay, welcome everybody. So as we start, we're going to start in this easy seated position, which may or may not feel easy, may or may not feel comfortable. So already you could bring your prop in, you could bring in a cushion, a block to elevate the hips slightly and hopefully find a bit more comfort there. Just remembering as we move through these next few practices, it's such a journey. Our yoga practice is a huge journey in just getting to know ourselves better. It's going to require some patience. We may along the way get a little bit frustrated, but the main focus, especially when it comes to our asana practice, the physical postures, is that we really move mindfully and in a way that feels good for us. So if I cue a posture and you come into it and it really doesn't feel good for your body, then come out of the posture, take a rest, or find ways in which you can make it work for you. We really want to make the postures work for us rather than vice versa. So I'll stop talking. Come into your seated position, take a big roll back of the shoulders, softly close the eyes. And another one of our 8 limbs of yoga is the breathing, our pranayama. So as we begin today, we're just going to take some nice, slow, deep breaths in and out through the nose. Grounding down into our seat. Be fully supported here. And simultaneously trying to lengthen, to find space. So reaching up through the spine, through the crown of the head. Finding this comfortable yet alert posture. And just start to listen to your breath today. How does it feel? Notice the quality of your breath. Maybe seeing if we can start to lengthen those inhales and exhales. It may be that sometimes when we come to our practice, that just taking a few moments to breathe is what we need. This is yoga, so this time to pause, to reflect, to tune into the breath. Maybe that is enough for us today. And if that is the case, then feel free to come back to this video at any time. Just take in our first few moments to just ease into this stillness, to breathe well. Now with each inhale that we take, see if you can visualize the spine becoming a little bit taller. With each exhale, allowing the shoulder blades to melt down the back. Find softness. Find stillness, tapping into this inner sense of calm. And just as with the asana practice, the physical movements, this sitting with stillness takes practice, takes patience, takes time. So noticing today if the mind feels busy, if we feel restless, that is okay, that is completely normal. But just the act of coming here, of doing this today is enough, no matter where we get to, no matter how busy the mind feels. Let's just take a few more really nice, full deep breaths. And then we'll begin with a big releasing breath together. So in your own time, take an inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Slowly fluttering the eyes open. Let's start just with a little bit of movement into the neck today. So gently release chin to chest. As you inhale, taking right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, bring it back through center. Inhale, left ear, left shoulder. Exhale back through center, keeping that length through the spine. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Every new movement that we come to, checking in with our bodies, how we're feeling today. What is this posture doing for us? Couple more there. Continue trying to connect this movement to your breath. And then slowly bringing it back to neutral. From there, on your next inhale, we're going to reach the arms up. Take a nice big stretch. As you exhale, bring the right hand down either towards your block or towards the mat. Inhale, take a lift a little bit higher with that left hand. And then exhale, start to gently lean to the right. So opening through the left side body, try and avoid kind of dome in the back, bringing that shoulder down. Try and keep that length, pushing down through the left sit bones there. So just so we feel that nice deep stretch through the left side. Check in with the breath. Again, breathing through the nose, slow, steady inhales and exhales. Let's take one more there. And then as we inhale, reaching the arms back to neutral. Exhale, slowly lowering that left hand down. Again, you could use a block there or left hand down to the mat. Inhale to lengthen through right arm. And exhale, begin to lean over to the left. Again, as best we can, keeping the chest open. Gaze is wherever feels comfortable here. So just be mindful that we don't crane the neck. Not every posture that we come to in our practice is going to feel really good, really comfortable. So you choose where you need to be today. Ultimately, we want to leave the mat feeling really, really good. And that is going to be so different for all of us. Taking one more deep breath. On your inhale, bring it back to center. And then as we exhale, just release the fingertips down slightly behind you. Inhale, roll shoulders back. Start to lift and lengthen the chest. Maybe the gaze moves slightly up, but again, mindful of how that feels for the neck. One more breath. And then slowly bringing the spine back to neutral. We're just going to bring it over now onto all fours. So rolling the legs around, bringing your hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Starting with a few rounds of our cat-cow today. So tops of the feet down on the mat. And again, try and connect this movement with your own breath. So as we inhale, we start to lift the sit bones, lift the chest and drop the belly. The gaze moves forward. Exhale, chin comes to chest, dome the back. Inhale, we lift. And exhale into our cat pose. Inhale, open the chest. Finding that movement in the spine. Exhale, reverse. 2 more there. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring it back. Last one. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the sit bones. And exhale, reverse. And bringing it back to that nice neutral position. From there, we're going to take an inhale, bringing the weight into the left hand. Reach the right arm up. Hold it there for 1 more breath. Inhale, can we reach the fingertips a little higher? And then as you exhale, we're going to thread the needle. So sending that right arm underneath the left. Maybe the back of that right hand comes down to the mat. Maybe the shoulder rests down. Maybe the right side of the face comes down. Very, very gently easing into that right shoulder. So we should be feeling this stretch into the right shoulder, into the upper back. And just moving into this stretch as much as we feel like today. So we want to be feeling something, we want to be stretching out the body, but there should be no pain. And that goes for all of our postures today. Using the breath here. Keep checking in with it, making sure that we're still breathing. It can be easy to kind of get lost in the physical and lose that connection to the breath. But the breath is what sets apart yoga from other forms of movement. It's an integral part of our practice. 1 more deep breath. And then as we inhale, we push down through the left hand, bring it back to that neutral position. Hands come underneath the shoulders, finding that nice straight spine. And then we move to the other side. So on your next inhale, weight into the right hand, left arm lifts, reach the fingertips tall. 1 breath. Inhale, can we go a little bit taller? And then exhale, threading that left arm through. Back of the hand comes underneath. Maybe the side of the face comes down. And we ease onto that left shoulder. Again, as much as we need to feel that stretch. Taking a couple of deep breaths here. Notice as well if there's any slight imbalances between the sides. That is normal. We are imbalanced as humans. So just becoming aware of it. And as I said at the start, it's all about our practice, is about getting to know ourselves, our bodies, our minds that little bit better. So just noticing these little differences. Taking 1 more deep breath. Push down through the right hand on an inhale, bringing it back to neutral. Coming into our tabletop position. From there, bringing the big toes together at the back of your mat, maybe taking the knees slightly wider. We're going to ease back into our balasana or child's pose. So sending the hips back towards the heels, maybe reaching the arms forward. So child's pose in our practice is so often cued as a resting posture. And for some of us, this might feel really good, really restful, but that's definitely not the case for everybody. So just notice how this feels for you. Notice how it feels through the tops of the feet, the ankles, into the inner hips, the spine, the shoulders. And there are ways in which we can make this more comfortable. So you could always bring your head to rest on a block. You could bring a cushion underneath the sit bones. But again, just working with your body today. So over the course of our practice in this journey, we will probably find over time that the feelings in the postures changes. Maybe they become slightly easier, more comfortable. Making sure that we don't rush this process, accepting wherever we are today, making sure that we come out of postures that don't feel good. But as we're here, with each inhale, think about lengthening the spine, and with each exhale, releasing the chest down towards the mat. Taking 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly on your next inhale, begin to peel the body back forward. So we're back into that tabletop position. Knees come underneath the hips, hands underneath shoulders. From here, we're just going to tuck the toes under. Begin to lift the knees and just take a few little steps coming towards the front of your mat. So firstly, just bringing the feet roughly to hips width. We'll take an inhale, come into your Ardha Uttanasana or halfway lift. So we want this nice flat back. And then exhale, fold it down into our Uttanasana. This is our forward fold. So it may be that the knees are really, really bent here. You could rest your hands on a block. What we're looking for is not to touch the toes and have the legs straight and dome the back. We want to try and keep the length through the spine, maybe allowing the chest to rest towards the thighs, and then really allow the upper body, the head, the neck to relax. Taking a few deep breaths. So with each inhale, lengthening through the spine. With each exhale, see if you can allow the body to fold forward just a little bit more. Maybe slightly bringing the weight into the balls of the feet. And then over time in our practice, maybe the legs start to straighten just a little bit. But for now, just focusing on allowing the body to relax, stretch out through the hamstrings. Two more breaths. And on your next inhale, we're going to really, really slowly roll all the way to standing. So bend the knees here, become soft in the knees, roll up through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. And when we get to the top, take a big roll back of the shoulders and then just face the palms forward and take a moment there to close the eyes. So Tadasana, or our mountain pose, it looks like we are just standing here, which of course we are, but there is a lot going on. So starting with the feet, rooting down through all 4 corners of your feet. Notice where the weight naturally goes. We might be swaying a little bit from side to side, forwards and backwards. A little bit of engagement through the legs here, so through the front of the thighs, quads. Trying to have this straight spine, so a little bit of a tuck of the pelvis. A little bit of engagement through Mula Bandha, our pelvic floor, which again we'll go into in a little bit more detail in future practices. Lengthen through the spine, so think about posture, think about the straight back. Rolling the shoulder blades down the back. And then length through the crown of the head. And one more deep breath. And then as we inhale, reach the arms up. maybe connecting the palms. Maybe that gaze goes slightly up without craning the neck. And then as we exhale, release the palms down through heart center. Come into your Uttanasana, that forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, Ardha Uttanasana. And then as we exhale, plant the hands down on the mat or to blocks, bending the knees as much as we need to, and step the left leg towards the back of your mat. From there, just lower the back knee down and untuck the toes. As we inhale, either bring in the hands to hips, or for a little more, reach the arms up. So just see what feels better today. Lengthen through sides of the waist. You might want to stagger the feet slightly. This is our Anjaneyasana or low lunge. So again, think about this little bit of a tilt in the pelvis, engagement through the glutes, the outer hips, lengthen through sides of the waist. And again, just breathing deeply there. Taking one more breath. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, release the hands down. We're just going to frame that right foot. Tuck the back toes under, look forward, and just see if we can step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale, come back into your Ardha Uttanasana, that halfway lift with a straight spine. And then exhale, fold it down. Inhale, lift chest. And then exhale, planting the hands down. This time, right foot steps to the back of your mat. We lower the back knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale, either hands to hips or reach the arms up. Lengthen through sides of the waist. It might be a bit wobbly here. Firming the inner thighs together as well to help maybe find a little bit more balance. Shoulders drop away from the ears. Taking nice deep breaths, lengthening through the spine. 2 more there. On your next inhale, reach the arms up. As we exhale, take the hands all the way down to the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift up the back knee, and then step the right foot roughly hips width to meet the left. Inhale, lengthen the spine, this halfway lift, gazes down. Exhale, forward fold. As we inhale, this time lifting up once more. And then exhale, plant the hands down, step back right leg, step back left leg, lower the knees down to the mat. So we're back on this all fours position. So a final thing we're going to do in these slightly more active postures today, we're going to have a little go at our downward facing dog. So chances are you will probably have seen this pose, you'll know this pose. It's in so many practices, that does not mean it is easy, it is definitely not. So what we want to do is plant the hands down, fingers spread nice and wide, root down through the base knuckles and the fingertips. Toes are tucked. And then very slowly start to shift the weight backwards, lift the sit bones up and come into this kind of upside down V position. So we will go into this further in other classes, but there are so many things that can make this posture work a little bit better for us. But first of all, we'll just start finding a little bit of movement, a pedal of the feet, a bend of the knees. And just while we're doing this, I'll go through a few of the cues that we're looking for in this posture. So we want to really try and wrap the triceps in, creating space for the head and neck. So really try and push off the shoulders. So push the weight back. Where we don't really want to be is kind of doming the back forward, creating tension in the head and neck. So think about really pushing that chest back towards the thighs. Now from there, the knees can be really bent here. You can have the heels high off the mat. Over time we are sort of sending the heels down in the direction of the mat. But so many of these postures as well just depend on our anatomy, on how our bodies are made up. So for me, I really struggle kind of with ankles, getting the heels down to the mat. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So we really don't want to focus on that. The main focus is through the upper body, lengthening through sides of the waist and just creating space.
Obviously at any point, I'm talking quite a lot, you can lower the knees down. This is a lot. This is a strong posture. It's, we're not used to being on our hands really, generally, as well. So it takes a while. Give the head a good shake out, relax the neck. We'll just stay here for 2 more breaths. Last one. And then slowly, slowly lower the knees back down to your mat. Come back onto the knees if that feels comfortable for you. Just give the arms, the wrists a little shake out. Whew. And then we're just going to sweep the legs around. And we're going to come all the way down onto our backs. So very slowly, soles of the feet down to the mat, just begin to roll it back. As you come onto your back, bring in the knees with you. Take a gentle rock from side to side. And we'll end here today with our supine twist. So we're going to keep that right knee hugged in, extend the left leg out long, shift onto the left hip, and then slowly begin to drop that right knee across to the left. So you might find that the shoulder lifts, that the knee doesn't get very close to the floor. That's absolutely fine. You could rest a cushion or a block underneath that right knee, or you could leave it hovering. From there, you could reach the arms out wide, or you could cactus the arms, which will take the stretch slightly more into the shoulders. And then if it feels comfortable for you on the neck, maybe just dropping the head to the right, closing down the eyes. And just take a few deep breaths here to ease into this twist. Using the breath once again, so with each exhale that we take, try and release the body, try and relax into this posture. Let's go for 2 more breaths. And as we inhale, slowly roll back to center, and we'll just switch sides there. So moving the hips towards the left side of your mat, extend the right leg out long, left knee comes in, and then we drop the left knee to the right. And again, if it feels comfortable, maybe looking over that left shoulder, maybe closing the eyes. Noticing those differences. Keep your attention on the breath, on the sensations in the body. How does this feel? Again, just taking 2 more deep breaths. On your next inhale, rolling it back to center. And then we are just going to come all the way down onto our backs. So we're already there. So with our Shavasana, there is lots of options as to where we might want to be from day to day. So option 1 is keeping the feet towards the outer edges of the mat with the knees knocking in. You could bring soles of the feet together, allowing the knees to fall out to the sides, or legs come out long, maybe edging towards the corners of your mat. Release the hands by the sides with the palms facing up, making sure we've got a bit of space between the sides of the waist and the hands so we can really relax shoulders down. From here, we softly close the eyes. And this is our Shavasana, or corpse pose. So at the end of our practice, we take a few moments, and that will vary obviously depending on how much time we have. But it is such an important part of our yoga practice. Taking time and stillness. So as we are here with the eyes softly closed, the face starts to relax and clench the jaw, the space between the eyebrows. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears, allowing the spine to fully sink into the floor, to be supported here. Relax the legs, the feet. Finally, relax the breath. Still, maybe listening, feeling into that breath, but not trying to control it in any way. We spend all of our time thinking, doing. This practice, this time on our mat just gives us a little bit of time to reset, to pause, and hopefully to move back into our days feeling rested, feeling calmer, at peace. We may find that Shavasana is the hardest pose of all. And for many of us it can be. To be here, to be still, just like all of the other physical postures that we will go through on this journey. Our Shavasana just takes time, takes patience and practice. If you have the time today, I would recommend that you stay here for as long as you can, allowing all of those sensations that we've created through the body to settle. But if you would like to move on with your day, start to find some gentle movement, a wiggle through fingers, through toes, maybe even a full body stretch. And then in your own time, rolling onto your side. Pause in there for a moment, keeping the eyes closed. And then gently pushing down through the hand. We bring ourselves back to seated. Again, if you can, just keep the eyes closed or lower your gaze down. We'll come to seal our practice together. So take a big roll back of the shoulders. And from here, you could either just leave your hands resting in the lap, wherever's comfortable, or we could bring the palms together in our Namaste Mudra, bowing the head. We'll end with a releasing breath. Take an inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out. Ending our practice today with gratitude for ourselves, the fact that we came here today, we have started this journey, the fact that we are able to move our bodies, and also huge thanks and appreciation for this incredible practice that allows us to do so. When you're ready, open the eyes. Thank you so much for joining me today for this beginner's practice. I really, really hope you enjoyed it, and I'm so grateful that you chose to kind of start this journey with me today. Any questions with regards to any part of this practice, any part of yoga, please do feel free to drop them in the comments. And yes, I will be continuing this series very soon. So thank you once again, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.